Back to Final Fantasy IV, and while this is not the final video for this game, it is where I will be finally achieving that perfect save by maxing out all party members' MP. But like last time, I still have the other half of the game's cast to give my final thoughts on. Once again, if you want to skip all that, chapters are in the description. These will be even shorter than the last part because most of these characters are the more minor ones. In the order the party members join, next are Porom and Palom. I may as well cover them both together. As a kid, I didn't get these two and found them a little annoying, like, why did we lose everyone else to these two? Why is one a brat and one a killjoy? But as I got older, I got it. Cecil's at such a low point and so badly prepared against Golbez that he needs 5-year-olds to keep him alive. Palom's ego and bratty behaviour lets him use their limited sprites to add a lot of character to him. Things like him jumping on Cecil's throne in the ending and getting in bed in the inn while everyone else is working out a plan. Porom works well as someone to call out and try and fail to keep Palom's ego in check. As for her hitting him to do so, normally I don't like the ring joke of someone being physically abusive to another or the minor things. But the fact that the animation is so simple that we can't even see her slap connect, so it looks like there was no pain involved, stops it from bothering me in the way it does when other properties have used it. Their petrification is a good way to show that not even the youngest are safe, along with bringing down the party right after one of their biggest accomplishments at that point. Although it is obvious that Palom has more going for him than Porom, as when we get to the sequel, Palom gets a lot to work with and becomes a highlight, while for Porom they didn't even try and just made her chapter all about Palom too. Next we have Cid. Cid is my favourite character in the game and my favourite Cid in the entire series, but like Young, there isn't much to say about him. He's just cool, but even cooler than Young because the guy is just ridiculous. Picking fights with most people, never being impressed and willing to talk back to anyone, including centuries old space beards. Then there's his fake death scene I already recapped back in part 2, in which he somehow survives all that to make you a gigantic drill. This guy's great. Why didn't you give him a CG model like most of the others with the DS remake, Square, you cowards? From my favourite to my least favourite, Edge is next. I hate Kain more in regards to the franchise as a whole, but contained to just this game, Edge is the worst. He's just Palom, but shit. The insane ego is funny on a 5-year-old, but when it's on a 26-year-old man who tried to defeat the Fire Fiend by setting him on fire, it's just unjustified. Yeah, that's the other thing, he's the oldest member of the final party, 5 years older than Kain, who's second oldest, not that you'd know. I've always found Edge incredibly annoying, and the fact that Young was removed to put him in the party added to that. He feels the least justified character to be in the final party considering he joined so late. Even when his parents were turned into monsters, I still didn't care. But all that applies to this game. Edge is by far the most improved character in the sequel. Fusoya is fine. I don't really have much to say about him. He serves his role in providing us with some late twists and that's about it. It does kind of bother me that no one actually points out the fact that he's Cecil and Golbez's brother. The main things that intrigue me most are just his design, being 95% beard, and how little play he gets in the series. He's not in the party much in this game, and the sequel also does its best to use him as little as possible. Plus he's probably the least recurring party member from this game in the thousands of crossover mobile spin-offs there are. They should make a third Dissidia that's actually good and put Fusoya in it. May as well talk about Golbez too. I quite like him. I liked how he was pretty much always on top even when you defeat him. He would be kind of forgettable though if it wasn't for him turning out to be Cecil's brother, and there is at least one hint towards it earlier in the game so it's not completely out of nowhere. I also like how it isn't, I'm good now, it's time to get myself killed for redemption. It ends up being, well, I don't know what to do now I've ruined everyone's lives and not everyone is just going to accept the fact I was possessed, I guess I'll stay on the moon for now. He's another character that the sequel will use well. As a side note, Golbez has one of my favourite visual designs in the entire series. Yeah, it's just a suit of armour, but it's a really cool suit of armour. I'd love if Square made a figure of Golbez. I'd also love if they made a figure of Golbez that an actual human being could afford. As for Zemus, he's not very interesting. I feel he only exists because they wanted the Golbez twist and needed a new final boss. He's not memorable as a big blue bald man and transforming into a bug didn't do him any favours. But that's fine, he's a necessary sacrifice for Golbez's development, who's a more interesting character. And now comes the time for maxing MP. The only way to do this is farming Soma drops which increase MP by 10. Cecil has 575 MP requiring 43 Soma drops. Rosa has 835 MP requiring 17 Soma drops. Rydia has 945 MP requiring 5 Soma drops. Edge has 365 MP requiring 65 Soma drops. Porom has 815 MP requiring 19 Soma drops. Palom has 808 MP requiring 20 Soma drops. Kain, Edward and Yang all have 10 MP, each of them requiring 99 Soma drops each. Finally, Cid has 0 MP requiring a whole 100 Soma drops. Adding that up, I need 566 of a rare drop. There are lunar trials that drop a single Soma drop on repeat, but these are far too time consuming. So instead I go to floor B4 of the lunar subterrane and use my sirens to fight 3 dark sages, who have a 12.5% chance of dropping a Soma drop on top of the chance they even drop an item at all. Those are the same chances to get a Mind Flayer summon from the Mistkraken, and that took me hours just to get one if you remember. I still have 173 sirens left over when I start this episode. Those sirens get me 9 Soma drops. I use 5 of them to max out Rydia's MP. I give one to Cid so that nobody has 0 MP anymore. Then the last 3 go to Rosa, leaving her needing 14 more. To get more sirens, I use my auto battle stealing method on searchers in the Giant of Babel room in Edward's section of the Lunar Ruins. I leave it at that for about an hour and find I have 1290 sirens when I take control again. Those 1290 sirens get me 33 Soma drops, the exact amount needed to max out both Rosa's and Poram's MP. I use up all my summon books to make more space in my inventory and leave the game stealing overnight. This gets me 2475 sirens. They get me 67 Soma drops. 65 of those max out Edge's MP, then 1 each go to Yang and Edward since they were just in the party at the time. Since my inventory was full when I got a Soma drop, I had to discard something, leaving an extra spot for my next session. So overnight gets me 2574 sirens. They get me 70 Soma drops. I use 19 to max out Palam's MP, then 43 to max out Cecil's MP. That's all party members with natural MP maxed out. The remaining 7 go to Yang, getting his MP to 90. My next stealing session gets me 2673 sirens. Having 99 more sirens doesn't guarantee more Soma drops, it's all still luck, so this time I get 4 less than last cycle with 66. These get Yang up to 750 MP. Another empty spot in my inventory gets me 2772 sirens on my next session. I get even less this time with 62 Soma drops. This maxes out Yang's MP and gets Edward up to 390. My next cycle gets me 2871 sirens. I get 84 Soma drops from this haul. 61 of those go to Edward to max out his MP. The last 23 go to Kain, since I don't want to end the perfect file on a character I don't like. I get him up to 240 MP. I just need 175 Soma drops now, 76 for Kain and 99 for Cid. My next stealing session gets me 2970 sirens. From that I get 92 Soma drops. I max out Kain's MP and the remaining 16 get Cid to 170 MP, just 83 to go. My final stealing session gets me 3069 sirens. It takes 2614 of those sirens to get the 83 Soma drops needed to max out Cid's MP. Altogether, that was 20,412 sirens I used to trigger Dark Sage fights. This means I killed, at minimum, 61,236 Dark Sages to get those 566 Soma drops. And that's it. Maxed levels, maxed HP, maxed MP, every treasure in the game collected, all the summons obtained, and every enemy added to the bestiary. I cannot get across the elation I felt from this. This was my 4th attempt at a perfect save file, after my 2007 attempt that got saved over by mistake, the 2008 attempt where I missed a knife, the 2019 GBA attempt that deleted itself, and now this. The closure I felt from this after 14.5 years was magnificent. This is also my first accomplished perfect save file of any Final Fantasy game. While I was here, I decided to gather all my vehicles together. The Lunar Whale and Falcon were already outside Mysidia, so I used the Devil's Road to go to Baron and go to the Chocobo Forest, which now has black Chocobos. I take it to Airbland to grab the Enterprise and the Hovercraft and group them all together looking nice. As far as I'm concerned, the game is completed. But I won't be ranking or adding it to my total until I have covered Final Fantasy IV Interlude next episode. It's also where I'll finally be giving my final thoughts on the game as a whole.